Hi everybody, it's Sasha Daygame. I'm here with my new friend James Marshall.
How you going?
That's right, you've guessed correctly. He's from Australia! Ah! And he spent $12 billion coming all the way here to speak at the 21 convention. That's how good it is. $4,000 on a plane. How do you feel?
I'm gonna get it back eventually. Then it was worth it.
You think you're gonna get that money back in some evil way?
Yeah, I didn't really care how. So.
Okay.
Because you know, the pickup industry is highly unethical, so we've got to roll with that.
He's willing to do anything for your money. Now, here's the point. So I think we both did quite well at the event. How do you feel it went yesterday?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a really well done event. Anthony chooses good speakers. I've spoken a lot of these things around the world, and let's say a lot of them are fucking bullshit. And it's good to see some guys who actually know how to get girls, and can actually prove that they can, and can, more importantly, communicate that to guys out there and show them how to do it. So it was good.
Nice. Who in particular would you say you thought you were impressed with and you thought they're amazing at what they do?
You have to think about it.
Oh, there's a guy here coming in. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Anyone in particular so far?
This guy called Sasha Daygame was quality. He was an interesting guy. He's got some issues, obviously, which we're going to walk out later.
Sounds like a dick. That's fun.
And Steve Mayeda, I really like him. Got a good vibe about him. Really cool dude. El Topo, I believe he's called.
Topo.
And Vince Calvin is a good friend of mine. He's a nutcase, but I love him.
Yeah, that was an entertaining one for sure.
Yeah, he approaches everybody, every fucking body. He doesn't care if they're even not alive, really. He's in there.
That's cool. And yeah, how do you feel? What did you actually cover?
Just going to stir my 2 lumps of sugar.
Do your sugar. That's nice. That's really nice.
Oh, hang on, no, I'm insulting the guy.
There you go. We actually do get.
Right.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks, buddy.
There we go.
So
we're in danger. We just came to a pub and ordered tea and coffee.
That's right.
So
we could be butchered.
you pufters here coming over here and not drinking no Guinness.
I love the word pufta, for the record. I have nothing against homosexuals.
Me neither.
He doesn't
I love
either.
him.
He loves them. Not in a sexual way, just as friends. He loves pufta.
Well, speak for yourself.
Yeah, well. But yes, hilarious. The word pufta, always funny, always will be funny. That's all I'm saying.
And someone's going to cut that out and turn us into gay pride marches coming past the PUA offices.
Yes, PUAs are all evil. But you want to tell the fellas what exactly, if you had to sum it up, what's the message you're trying to put across in your speech?
All right. My basic message is that, well, I'm natural, okay? So natural game is what I'm all about. Hang on, some ketchup, some tomato sauce coming. Yeah, props. So,
Ketchup.
the basis of what I teach is, let's say, awareness and intent-based. So I don't teach scripted lines, I don't teach routines, I do teach principles, so I teach guys to understand what are the elements, say in a conversation or in touch or escalation, that's going to make the difference. But it all comes down to...
There's a roof coming down on top of us, everybody.
There's getting all sorts of stuff happening here.
Anyway, please continue.
He's worried about your lens, your Zeiss. Okay, so to move towards natural game, if that's where you're headed, if you're not, then just fuck off, is to be present and aware of what's going on internally and externally. So many guys, when they're going into an interaction, are completely unaware of the fact that they're, jiggling their knees and picking their noses and doing all sorts of strange behaviour that's going to turn a woman off. And if they learn how to actually bring their awareness into their body, then they can relax and slow down. Sasha speaks very, very fast, and that works well for him. I tend to speak really slowly when I'm talking to girls, and I know a lot of guys are speaking fast nervously. If you're doing it because you're just like a ranting comedian, then it works. But I think for a lot of guys, they need to just slow the fuck down, because then they can actually register what's happening in an interaction and then adjust to the needs of the situation. Also, becoming present and aware of what's happening externally. Most guys see tits and hair. That's kind of all they see in a woman. They don't notice the fact that she's matching her belt and her shoes, or that she's got a swagger, or that she looks confident, or that she looks irritated, or that she's carrying a lump of wood, or whatever it is. And so much of being able to pick the right mood is determined, that you go into an interaction is determined by being able to read the situation properly. So I teach a lot about actually breaking down, taking a snapshot of where a girl's at and guessing what's going on in her world, so you can match her energy and then typically get much better results than just blazing in there without thinking about it.
Right.
And a lot more shit, but carry on.
A lot more shit. Too much to go into. James has a sip of tea. Now, is there? I know you were talking a lot about. It's interesting, actually. Your backstory is really interesting because I was just like, oh, it's just going to be another pretty boy teaching some bullshit. But apparently, you know, you've been around and you had an interesting past, and you're quite into the whole spiritual side of stuff as well, which is something if people read my blog, they've seen as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's that sort of like, you know, studying martial arts and having gone to China and actually trained with like an actual master? How does that sort of you know, change your perspective and sort of how you move through all this? You know,
well, that's the basis for all my game, really. And when I think about it, when I was training in Shaolin Temple, hitting my hand on rocks and, you know, meditating and stuff, that's where I was developing my seduction skills. Because if you understand yourself, then that's where presence, charisma, and the ability to project an intent, which is, in my mind, the fuel of seduction. Yeah, when you can look a girl in the eyes, I'm looking at you right now, but I'm probably looking cross-eyed because I'm looking at one point, baby. And let her know that you want to fuck her, and project that deep into her eye, not pussyfoot around with it on an intention level. Then it just boils things so much quicker. Because there's I think the idea of like what direct and indirect is misunderstood. You can say something perfectly direct and say it in a completely indirect and wishy-washy way, and it has no impact at all. Or you can say something fairly ambiguous but have really heavy non-verbal intent, and she gets the point much harder. So yeah, my spiritual studies led me to the point where I wanted to explore myself in all areas, push myself to extremes and find out what else I am. You know, there's this like, be yourself. What the fuck does that mean? You are yourself, but let's figure out what else you are. And so I tend to teach seduction as a catalyst for a complete personal change, for helping a guy on his hero's journey to figure out who the fuck he is and what he really wants out of life. And along the way, I mean, the universe doesn't care how you learn. You can either learn by going through all sorts of awful hardships, or you can learn by having sex with hot girls. And that's the one I want.
I'll take that one any day.
Yeah, let's do that.
That sounds fucking great. Yeah, no, it's funny, dude, because like when I was posting on my blog, you know, I told you last night about my whole, you know, experience where I had that awakening and I realized that, you know, there's reincarnation and all this kind of stuff, and it was really amazing. And I posted it on my blog and thinking, oh, these guys are going to think it's gay, but a couple people emailed me going, man, that's fucking great, that this has led you to this and all this kind of shit. So it's funny, like, as you found as well, once you start really improving on yourself in any area of your life, it just spreads into other areas, and you just gain wisdom, and wisdom is wisdom. Yeah. Whether it's wisdom with, you know, dealing with people, which is what we're essentially teaching, or wisdom in business, or wisdom in whatever. It's like you're just learning more shit and getting better. So
yeah, and I think because if a guy's not good with girls, he can't. It's quite difficult for him to be able to move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
you know, this is a vital area. We need to learn how to do this, and it doesn't necessarily mean you need to fuck as many women as I have, or even as
27,
or even as many as Sasha has.
16.
Yeah.
Woo!
But it does mean that you need to be satisfied in your love life, whether that's just getting a really awesome girlfriend, which I think is totally legitimate, that's not gay at all, or, you know, having multiple relationships or whatever. That's up to you to figure out. But until you sort that out, it's going to be really hard to move on to actually exploring the depths of the universe and, you know, your true masculine potential. So, you know, get this shit sorted in the day with him or anywhere else with me.
Yeah, that was a joke, by the way, before when I went to 27 for him and 16 up. We've obviously had sex with way more girls than that. Just so you guys know. Is that right, Chance?
Sure.
Now here's the big question that everyone wants to know. Obviously, you know, you do very well in Australia and stuff, but what do you say to all the people that say that in fact Alex Coulson is Australia's #1 dating coach? Do you have anything to say about that?
I'm not really familiar with that name. I'm not really sure who you're talking about. I'm sure he's a fine young man. I am the fucking best. Coming to get you, Alex.
We'll just edit that bit out. So anyway, I just like winding him up, that's all. He's just another guy on the scene that's on his turf, and I just like winding him up because it's funny. So, so you have to give one piece of advice to the people out there, the guys who are brand new, and there's too much information, and there's a million ebooks out there, and they don't know what to do. What would you say if you want to get them out there and actually meeting some girls and getting some results? What should they do?
Okay, real simple. Now,
sign up to my course right now.
that's the simplest, and when you take out your credit card and you put in those numbers, you'll feel this amazing sense of relief as the tension just washes away from you. I don't even have credit card facilities, that's not really going to help. So, all right, so when a guy sees a girl, he's like, starts freaking out, thinking about all this stuff about what does it mean, you know, do I really like her, am I really a man?
Oh, there it is, perfect, thank you very much. So you got 60 seconds to make this amazing. Right. Here we go.
I'm Ukrainian. We're used to deferred gratification. It's like this turnip, when it's ready, then we'll eat. Until now, we struggle. So I'm fine.
Struggle.
Whereas, you're not.
40 seconds. I want to eat. I'm hungry.
Okay. So instead of having all this buzzing in your head about what, thinking 10 steps ahead, what I want you to do is I want you to put your mind and your attention in the soles of your feet and actually just feel it. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm literally feel it. What does it feel like right now? It feels hot, doesn't it? Because you've got socks on. Just feel it. This will actually take you out of your head into your body. And then my intent is really simple. Every time I see a girl, it's like, fucking hot, I want to meet you. And I just think that and I project it through to her because I know I can always achieve that. I can always achieve going up and meeting someone, even in the unlikely event that they pour urine on my head. I can go and achieve that goal. I'm not necessarily thinking about, I'm going to, give this girl multiple orgasms, fivesome with, her sisters. I'm just keeping it simple, keeping it very, very clear. I put my attention in my body and I project my intent. And then I trust. I trust in the fact that I'm a man, that women like men, that I'm, going to be able to communicate. And this keeps me relaxed in the moment. And then inevitably, what I say, what I do, is way more spontaneous and fun and interesting anyway.
Nice. Good tip. Good times. He's a good guy. If you're in Australia right now, you should have sexual intercourse with James. Sorry, that was the wrong. Is there a website?
www, yes, as well as having sexual intercourse with me, thenaturallifestyles.com. You can check it all out. If you're interested in traveling around Eastern Europe with me for 10 days, having the wildest ride of your life in the most extreme boot camp that exists on this planet, www.theeurotour.com. Thank you.
Obviously, if you're in the London area, you'd be taking one of
Obviously, if you're
somewhere else,
in London,
sure, if you're around Europe, why not? So there you go. Lots of corporate whoring and a little bit of knowledge with that corporate whoring. Right here from Sasha Day Game. Say goodbye to James Marshall.
See you, gents.
See you later, sexy man. Peace.